Welcome to our Getting Started webinar. This afternoon we will be reviewing how to log into the program, looking at the welcome screen and page ladder functions, adding font selections, creating a ReplayIt private photo submission account, how to transfer material from a 2020 account to the current year. You will be able to find all the information I am covering in the Memory Book Online Manual under Design and Creation. This webinar will be approximately 20 to 30 minutes long. If you go to memorybook.com, this is our company website, and there's a link here that will take you to our login screen. This is a different image than we had last year, so that may look a little bit different to you. But you'll need to be sure to have the right year chosen here. Now, if you were logging into last year's book, maybe to click or to get some images from last year, you choose 2020 here, but we're working in 2021. Type your job number in here, and then your username and your password, and you should get that information in an email from your customer rep. Here's our welcome screen. This is just a countdown, a reminder of how many days you have and hours. Don't get panicked about this. This date is based on your date that you gave your customer rep of when you need to have your book submitted so we can get it printed and shipped to you. Here's just some reminders. This is your estimated ship date and your submission of your book. Reminder that we'd like your portraits on CD sent in and your cover artwork. Now the cover artwork date, we like for you to get it in here in November so we can get all the covers printed ahead of time so that when the books get here we can put everything together and it's good to go. This is just some information that I don't know that you'll really need. This is going to tell you how many are in the inbox staff, how many images the staff has uploaded, and so on. Some of this may not be up to date. Up in this area, this is just giving you some thumbnail views of some pictures that you may need to tag if you're tagging your images so that you can create an index. And page status, this is letting you know that when you just first log in, you're going to have all of your pages not started and none in progress and none completed or submitted. So these numbers will change as you go along, as you're working on your book. Okay, the next place we want to go is to our page ladder or our plan section. This is where you're going to submit your pages, and this is how you can see how your book is laid out. There's a color guide around each of these little images, the thumbnail of the pages. As you can see, I started something on page 1, so that's in the, it's already started, so it's kind of in the complete status or in progress. So if you look over here, you have red is not started, yellow is in progress, green is completed, and black is submitted. So as you complete and submit your pages, all of your borders on your thumbnails will change to let you know the status of the pages. There's also some filters here. As you go along and you assign pages, you can go down through here and you can click on your different users and you can see what pages are assigned to them. And all page types here, maybe you have a few that you've changed to black and white, but the rest are color. It's going to bring those up. All page statuses, the not started, in progress, completed. Now this is an area that sometimes gets clicked by accident. Maybe there's just the ones that are in progress. You've accidentally clicked on this filter. So when that happens, you don't see all of your pages. So sometimes customers call and they're panicked because they lost their pages. Well, if you go over here and you go to all page statuses, they all come back. And then all lock statuses. So that's kind of a handy tool to keep track of your pages and see what you need to do next. Up here in the top, there's a print icon. If you print all, it's at the end of your book, maybe when you get all your pages completed and you want to have a PDF proof of the whole thing, maybe you need to show it to your principal or someone administration and they need to approve the book. You can go here to print all and it's going to generate a PDF of all your pages, and then you can save that to your computer or you can print it out. You could print out the page ladder. Maybe you want to print this page ladder out and take it home, and then you can sit down and kind of figure out what pages you want on, what content you want on what pages. Over here on the right is the page mover. We suggest that you have your pages laid out the way you want them to begin with. It's a whole lot easier than moving pages individually as spreads. You can move them and that works pretty well, but when you move single pages, sometimes it messes up the margins. So it may create a little bit more work in the long run. Up here as you submit your pages, you can select all your pages and you have different actions. So if you had several pages you wanted to complete, you could go here and click the little button that says check all and click complete, and it would complete all the pages that were ready to be completed, and so on. You can also change your display range here. Maybe you have a really big book. You just want to look at a few pages at a time. But I think when you're getting started, the most important thing here is if you want to use last year's page designs, you'll click Load Last Year's Page Designs, and then the templates are going to pop onto the pages like they were when you submitted the book. If you fill out sections and descriptions, then you can click Load Last Year's Descriptions and Sections, and this area here is where they would get that information popped in. Now, if you didn't put any information in here, then there isn't anything to move forward. So what you could do is start this year by going in and adding your information. Now, anytime you go in here and make changes, you always want to go over here to the top corner and save all. Here's where you're going to assign different ones to different pages, and in just a second I will show you how to create staff users. So to create logins for your staff, you'll go to Plan and choose Staff, and you'll click Add Staff, and you'll fill in the fields here and click Save. And then when you go back to this area, you'll have the list of your staff here. Now, if you'll notice, we have advisors. This is the default login that we've given you guys to be an advisor. So when you log in as advisor, you have access to all aspects of the program. An editor has a few more privileges than the staff, so they can help you with different functions. But if you have a classroom that's working on the book, or maybe you're on a committee, you definitely want to have someone in charge that can be the advisor, and then you want to assign or create staff logins for your other people on the committee. Sometimes if you have more than one person that has the advisor status, they can go in and change things, and that's not always a good thing. If you want to see the privileges for the different roles, like for staff, editor, and advisor, you can go to page 139 in the manual. Now, once you've created these different logins, you can always go here and you can turn them off. You can make them inactive once they've finished their page. You can also view the activity. So if this person's gone in and done some things, you can see what they've done. And when you have their emails in there, you can also email everyone. Maybe there's some kind of alert that you need to say, get your pages done by the 15th and so on. You can click here and it'll bring up a page that you can email everyone and send out that message. Okay, I want to go to fonts. Well, let's go to the page ladder again here. So you saw my different logins that I had for people. This is how you would assign them to pages. So I'm going to have this person work on page 2, and I'm going to have this person work on page 3. So you would go down through here and you would choose a user to work on your different pages. Now, if it's unassigned, anyone can work on those pages. So these pages are open here. Anyone could go in and edit these pages. If they aren't assigned to a page and you have all the pages assigned to someone, then they can see what the other pages look like, but they won't be able to edit anything except if they're logged in as the advisor. Then you can go in and edit as needed. Okay, let's go back to the fonts. It's asking me if I want to leave because I didn't save. Okay, the font section's a little bit different this year. You still have a whole bunch of fonts to choose from. So you can choose from the type, and here's the list. Now, if you see one you want to check out, you click on it. It gives you the preview over here. If you want to add it, you can click active. Now, it doesn't show up purple or active right away, but it should jump up here to the top of the list when you do that, when you refresh. Let's see. There it is right there. We suggest that you keep your fonts kind of limited if you're working with a group, so that you have some continuity through the book, and it looks more consistent that way. But you can certainly add as many fonts as you'd like. There's also a new feature this year for styles. So if you wanted to create a headline or a style, you can click Add Style, and you can name it. And you can kind of specialize it here. And I'm just kind of choosing things. I'm not sure what they are, so they may not look like. Okay, I'm going to name this style biography. So whenever I go to my pages, I'll be able to click on that biography, and a text box will pop over with this font and the size that I've designated. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. And now if you'll notice, it's down here in my choices. You can also go in here and delete them or edit them. Maybe you made it and you put it on a page and you're like, well, I'd like that to be a little bit smaller or larger font. You can go in and edit it, and then you don't have to do that with every single text box that you add to the page. It'll be like you want it to begin with. You also want to keep in mind that if you're placing dark backgrounds on the pages, you want to make sure that you've chosen a font that's legible, that you can see it. So you might choose something contrasting in color and pretty thick if it's a busy background. And the font selections, you can see all the available fonts on page 207 in the manual. Now the next area I want to show you is the ReplayIt. That we don't actually have the ReplayIt app anymore. They've just named our image share the ReplayIt private photo submission. So if you wanted a separate site for your committee or your parents to go to upload images, and they'll go directly into the image area in the online program, this is where you would go to activate that. So you'd click the little button here that I've already got it active, so that's why it's not highlighted. You would enter a date in here that you want to get it started and a date for it to end. You don't need to change this maximum number of images here. And then you click the little check mark and click Save. If that doesn't save for you, you might check your dates here. If you've got this after the first of the year, you want to make sure that says 2021 and not 2020. And then also, if you go to test this out, then you need to make sure that it's past the date that you said for it to turn on, because you can't test it even though you're their advisor. This is the link that you'll want to send your parents so that they can click on this and then they can upload their images. And if you send this link, it's going to go straight to that page where they're basically logged in and all they have to do is choose images. Now, if you click on the photo submission flyer, you'll need to change this email is incorrect, or this login. That's why you need to use the other link. So you'd want to fill in your dates here and then put in that that link that was in the previous page, this one right here. And this information is on page 151. Now, when they go in and they upload images, they are going to go into the image library, and they're going to go here into the inbox ReplayIt. Now, they're just all going to dump in here. They're not going to be sorted or anything. If you want to get information about this, the images, you'll have to click on the little eye, and then you can see who the person was that uploaded it, and then a little bit of, it's limited information, but you can see a little bit of information about the image, and maybe if you need to do some detective work to see what that goes to. I believe there is an area where it'll ask for a student's name. I think right now that may not be working, but they're working on that. So you would have that information there. Okay, if we were wanting to use some of the images from last year in your book, you would need to have your login information from last year, and you would log into your 2020 book, and you could go here to your folders, and let's say you wanted to move these activity candidates forward. There's a button here that'll say 2021, and you'll click on that, and it's going to put a little arrow on the folder, and that means that you will have access to it in your 2021 book, which is the one we're working on now. That's kind of confusing. But you would find them here in my 2020 images, and these are the images that I moved forward from last year. I know they look the same as the ones I clicked on here, but since it's a demo account, we just kind of have generic images, so that's why they look the same. But here's my staff images from last year. Sometimes it's hard to get teachers or maybe bus drivers or whoever, and especially last year since it was such a crazy year, you may not have all your pictures this year that you would like. So sometimes you can access last year's book and you can use them from your previous books. You would move them into a folder, and then you would have to re-tag them, and you could use them this year. Now, as far as the templates, if you're loading last year's page designs here in the ladder, the templates from last year will pop onto the pages, but you no longer have access to the page section, the designer section of last year's book to create templates. Maybe there's a page that you wanted to save as a template. You won't be able to do that because we've updated the program since Flash is not supported anymore. When you had templates that you did save as you were working on your book, you will be able to find those in the designer section, and you would go here to your designs tab. And if you notice, this all looks different from last year. There's a section here, my 2020 templates, and so these are some templates that I saved last year, and they did move forward, but you won't be able to go in and save templates get a now if you are missing any. Now, whenever you send us your photos on CD, We'll upload them, and you will find those in the photo section here, and they're in the portraits. And you need to let us know how you want them sorted. If you want them sorted by teachers or grades, it's up to you. And we also we need the information that the photographer sends. We need the spreadsheet. It's called an index. And then all the images that are associated with it. And we can use that, and we upload them from our administrative side. So when you flow those onto a page, the names come over with it. Otherwise, you're going to have to, if you upload your images yourself, you're going to have to go in and tag each image so that the name will come over to the page with the pictures. That's so the automatic flow function will work. Do we have any more questions? I have a question about where can I get a PDF copy of the manual. We will try to get that to you. So you can send tech support an email or your customer rep, and we'll be happy to get that out to you. Okay. Oh, where was the flyer to upload photos located? Okay, you're going to go to the plan, down to replay it, and you can go here once you've turned this on, and you can go to the photo submission flyer. Now, I do have a flyer that we can send to you that has the correct link here as far as where you can go. You want to go to this link right here, the images.memoryebooks.com. Now the number, this last number here, is what you would put here in your login ID. So everyone would go to this https images.memoryebooks.com, and then they would be asked to enter in that number. So you need to make sure they get that number. But if you send this link in an email, that should work even better if you can. Okay, I don't think we have any more questions. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. I hope this webinar has helped to make the getting started process not feel so overwhelming. Transferring templates from last year and sending in your portrait CD for 2020 should save you time in the long run. Please join us next week for Working with Portraits. We will be showing you how to organize your class portraits so you can use the auto flow function to build class pages. Thank you.
Do you have a moment? I actually have some questions, but I kind of didn't want to ask.